I'm going 1 minute to get something. I'll be back.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If it's just joining us, this is the Born Liberia. We're just coming to you live from Central Europe. Once again, tonight we'll be looking at some of our major newspapers that make headlines to discuss the major newspapers that make headlines in Liberia and also other trending issues. Tonight we have with us Law Paul Chidople for London. Also have our colleague Francis Mono Mensa, who is based in Sweden. Paul, welcome. How are you today?
Well, Jamal, thank you to be back on the show. I'm great. It's good to be back here. How are you?
Well, great. Good to be here. Just like we also have another side news in football. You know what happened. We're paying tribute to one-time England football coach who died recently. I think you know him. I think it was a Swedish-based, Sweden-born English school who took England to a couple of finals. But yeah, and he's late. We were tell her who he was and what you know about him, Paul, before we got our colleague to talk and go straight into our main topic tonight.
Oh, Sten Eriksson. That's okay. What he's. Yeah, he was England coach. I think he one of those that became foreign coach here, and he took England for a while, and he actually brought a lot of young people onto the team. And yes, he had a lot of conservative, how they call it, issue too with the English press. Well, he was a good football manager. So may his soul rest in peace. I know he died from cancer, and he did send a message before he died. So,
okay, what was the message?
No, I mean those that supported him, that he just sent good message that he was going. That's all. He came from Sweden, actually.
Yeah. Probably we will ask Francis, who may be coming out to tell a little bit about, because
yes, he and Francis from the same country. Yeah, that's right.
If you follow football, Francis, you able to tell us something about this man who took England to a lot of finals. He managed the national team. That is the Three Lions. He called it the Three Lions. He took them to a couple of challenges. I mean, he was very good, and he brought in people like Owen. Owen Tiki was on his management. David Beckham played for him. Many good players today that play for on his wings, and I think they made a good attempt. But before he died, I think I saw him one of those times on the television. He was talking about he was down with cancer. He had not much time to live. But whatever the case will be, a special shout out to him. That's the Swedish-born English coach, Eriksson. He's late now.
Eriksson, yeah.
Garrison Eriksson, something like that. I think probably
Eriksson.
It's a Swedish name, how to pronounce it. We'll ask this guy, Francis, who will be telling us more about it if he follows his activity. In the meantime, we'll take a short break and we'll come back, go right into the newspaper. Tonight, we'll be looking at some major headlines that made news in Liberia through our major newspaper. The Daily Observer, the Front Page Africa. We also New Down newspaper, the New Republic, as well as analysts and other newspaper and other news that coming from Liberia. So stay, buckle up. We'll take you for a while. Let's take a short break and come back.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
You are watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
Once again, thank you very much. Today is August 27th. The last, the only Tuesday in August for the year. I think, yeah, the only 27th August we'll be having. So today is August 27th, 2024. We once again want to remind you, you're coming to you live from the center of Europe. My name is Jamal Kamara, based in the United Kingdom, in Manchester, to be specific. What we're doing tonight, if you just joined, we want to let you know to please share the movie. I'm sorry, share the show. I always say movie, Paul. Share the show, and also don't forget we have apps also to download our apps, and anytime we come on, we can watch it on our radio as well. We're on the Borderline Liberia Radio Live, YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram. So what we do tonight, we'll be looking at a major newspaper. You know, Liberia has been in the news, more especially what happened a couple of days back in Liberia. It was really a tough issue, and it's making big headlines, big waves across the continent. I think we'll be looking into that since the police raided the CDC compound in Monrovia a couple of days back. We'll be looking at what's happening. Is the storm settled? Is the storm is calm? What's other African region leaders are talking about the situation in Liberia? How can we move forward? What other politicians are talking about? What next? What do you think? If you have the chance, we'll drop a line later. Tell us what you think. What can we do to keep Liberia peaceful? As one of the politicians said, that was Moneybar. What's the name again, Paul? These Moneybar. What's the first name? I forgot his something Moneybar. I forgot his name. The one of the politicians, Harry Moneybar's son, said Liberia is bigger than every one of us, all political parties, quote unquote. So Liberia is bigger than every one of us. So tonight we'll be looking at what the newspaper said, what it's saying in Liberia, the headlines, major newspapers. I know you've read the paper, but we will give our own perspective. If you have other issue, we will again drop the line. If you want to say something, call us. Let's hear what your thoughts will be. And if you want to drop it also a text, you can drop it in our text box. We'll also read it. We'll have a chance to take our time to read it. I want to welcome you wherever you join us from, Liberia, Asia, United States of America, and also Europe. We also say welcome to the Bottom Line. Once again, Paul, before we go to the major newspaper, tell me what is around you right now in London. I know you're speaking to me from London right now. Tell me what is it like for your end?
Well, London is peaceful, sunny. It's been sunny today. Weather is the temperature been extremely good. A lot of people out about. There was a holiday yesterday, bank holiday. This is the summer holiday. People were out, a lot of barbecues, drinks. As usual, the English people love their booze. Yeah, everybody went back to work today, and then, well, looking forward to the rest of the week. So London is cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh man, that's Mono is here. I always call him Mono. He's one of our co-hosts here. He's Francis Mono Mensah. He's also one of the brain behind the Bottom Liberia. He's joining us live from Sweden, and probably we'll also our brother, colleague from Chicago, Albert Moyer, maybe joining us tonight as well. We'll be discussing the headlines of the major newspapers. I mean, major headlines in Liberia. We may not be able to read all the papers headlines, but we will be picking up the most important one that make waves in Liberia. But before we go into the newspapers, we're just talking about England is paying a special tribute to a Swedish-born coach who took the English national team, the Three Lions, to a lot of challenges. And today we all sat, we are bereaved, but we're kind of celebrating his life. I think if we want you to tell, you based in Sweden, Francis, tell your knowledge or what do you know about Eriksson, who was one time was a coach for England.
Sven Göran Eriksson.
That's the right word. I was struggling to call it. Thank you for getting there.
Eriksson.
For listening to hear well. How do you pronounce that name?
Sven Göran Eriksson.
Okay. Tell her he was England coach for a couple of years, and he brought up a lot of young players. And he
had a very sturdy career as a coach. I think he coached Napoli at a point in time, He was very successful. But I mean, his appointment as coach of England, it was very, very, very surprising to the world, you know. But he, you know, he's a guy from Sweden, a very humble guy. He doesn't have a very flamboyant football career history as a player, but you know he helped England, I think, qualify for 2 Cup of Euro. He got it, and then the World Cup, and then you know, as football is, I mean, the cup is coming home, but now reach home on his administration. So he got fired. But Sweden is moving him as well. You know. So yeah, I mean, his family asked for privacy, but he cannot be a private guy. You know,
Right.
he's recognized on the world stage.
Right. Right. Thank you very much for your little bit of information you're giving us concerning the late English coach who really did. He was born and raised in Sweden, kind of dramatically just appeared head coach for the 3 Lions of the English football team when he took them to 1 World Cup finals and 2 at the European finals as well. So thank you very much. We want to go straight to the newspapers. I think we would look at, may have read some of the newspapers that made headlines in Liberia, following some of those incidents that happened in Liberia recently with the raiding of the CDC headquarters. That is the major opposition in Liberia right now, the former president party. That's President George Manuel Weah. And apart from that, other news that made headlines, like we'll be looking into it. So we want to first, before going to headline, we want to welcome our colleague and brother and one of the co-hosts in based USA, Brother Albert Moore. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rajmad. I'm here and the pleasure of meeting all of you. We all are concerned about our nation. This is the best we can do in this era. Thank you.
Thank you. So what we're going to do right now, we're straight now taking too much of our time. We have a time factor here, about 1 hour, 30 minutes for the show. And we want to remind all our viewers, our listeners, if you're just joining us, wherever you're joining us from, welcome to the program, The Bottom Liberia, coming live from the central of Europe, with colleagues from Sweden, UK, and well as our brother from all the way from the USA, Chicago. And he's with us tonight as well. He's been one of our co-hosts and one of the strong brain behind the bottom line as well. So we want to take you through the newspaper. I know most of you have read the paper here on this platform, but we want to get a personal perspective concerning what do you think and how do you look at it. First, we will take you, the first newspaper is like New Dawn newspaper. Now, an advocate, a politician, and one of the world-renowned Liberian lawyers is back in the news. This is what he said recently. He's calling for constitutional reform against. I'll give you a little bit of background. What he said. He won a strong stance on corruption. He also won those students when all these people to go scot-free in case of corruption. So he's calling for constitutional reform. He was speaking recently in Logantown. So, and what do you think? You think is it right that this is a need to have a constitutional reform in Liberia? If anyone can come in.
Well, constitutional reform. I mean, I think
against corruption. Yeah.
I mean, the entire constitution needs some revision. You know, we need to have a referendum on the constitution. It is rumored that the setting part of the constitution, certain part was taken out of, by the late Samuel Doe. He ordered the guys not to put, to take out some parts that was actually counterproductive for him, his leadership. So, but I mean, the Constitution has a lot of strong points. In terms of prosecution of corruption cases and stuff. So we just need somebody, a leadership, a leader that will enforce it. Yeah, much I agree that we need some reform, but the Constitution is organic. It has some salient points in it that can tackle corruption if we have the political will.
Mr. Moore, or before I go to Paul, they're saying that he's saying, I think the council is saying that the Constitution is kind of a little bit very much lenient to government officials. It's kind of using the Constitution as a shield to protect those who will embezzle our money, the funds. And are you out of office, you cannot be prosecuted if you consider they have taken a lot of money out there. The council is calling for these reforms that we should go back and amend, like my colleagues or our colleagues co-host is saying, that a lot of stuff is in our constitution to be reformed. What you use the constitution to use as a shield for most of those guys in power. What about the common citizen? They suffer a lot. Do you agree?
Oh, that question is for me, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's for you.
No. The citizen, the Constitution really, I have been one of those that suggested when I went home during the war year, I thought it was the feasible time to reconstruct the Constitution to reflect the popular will of the Liberian people. But many other senior brothers and political leaders said it was not the time, there was no money in the country and what have you. At that point in time, I think we have to do so because the Constitution is being manipulated by many people whom we put into power. I know that I can't quote the article, the Constitution right in my hand, I was trying to look for it. But something they decided to avoid, which was politically mature to have done that because we didn't want to suppress the military leaders because the military is the backbone of the nation, and having them being involved in putting the man forward, in terms of President Doe. So they went to a point where they said in our Constitution that what was done on the PRC, it cannot be revised, it should not be prosecuted for that. Now, based on that, other people are manipulating, wrongfully interpreting the Constitution and doing all kind of things. But I think there should be a reform. We will have workshops, symposia all over in the diaspora, back home. Then we call for a national referendum. The people need to understand what is wrong, what would be good in the Constitution before we can call for a national referendum. And as he stated, like President Doe might have changed something to suit his will into the Constitution. I understood when the draft was given, the draft was popular, seemed to be accepted, but then the government of Liberia set up a constitution review committee headed by Dr. Edward Ben Kessley and co-chaired by William Cassell of Bon County, and they went to Central Liberia to review it. After the revision, the public didn't have the option to say yes or no to it, so we went ahead with it. But as we have grown and with the experiences we learn from the war, we see the weak points in the Constitution. We have to really redress the issues and have constitutional review get a referendum for the new constitution to be drafted to suit.
Okay, let me hold you back. There's a point I want you guys to specifically. I'll go to Paul. Let's look at it for a minute. The point the council is talking about here, he said, is a point he mentioned. He said his concern about the immunity currently granted to the president of Liberia in cases of corruption and murder. That is what he's really talking about. The presidents go scot-free. If they go ahead and take a lot of money out of the coffers, they are shielded. So, Paul, I know you go back to that. I want you to give it a tip, but Paul, when you talk on that, then I'll go to Francis Kamba. Specifically about the president, he's speaking about he want them to remove the immunity. Paul, tell us what you think. Should the president not be shielded anymore? If it goes wrong, let's bring it to the book and bring it to the dock to face the days in court.
Okay, let me find it.
Yeah.
Go on, Paul.
Yeah, I think the Councillor Taiwan is right here with this constitutional reform that a lot of people have been pushing for. You see, now, specifically the president, if President George Weah, the former president, he cannot be prosecuted, Ellen cannot be prosecuted because the constitution backed them, and it's wrong. So they could get away with murder and they cannot be prosecuted. So that means they're above the law. It's wrong. So we need to have a constitutional reform, honestly. So we know that 16 billion were missing on a Weah-led government. He built for the 7 condominium. Nobody can question him. Ellen told us that, $30 million no car. She took responsibility for her children mismanagement, but nobody can do anything to her. The Constitution protect them is wrong.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Francis, Mr. Mensah, what do you think? You think the council statement will have a weight and Liberian will support it? How can we push this thing forward for it to get a ground, have a ground that it can make some amendment to the Constitution? You being an officer and officer, you may be aware, very cognizant of the law, and tell her what you think. How can we push this around for the people to see a way around it and make some amendment for us, so the presidents, those who steal our money, will be held responsible or accountable?
Look, we all said it that the Constitution of Liberia was drafted and scripted to please and protect the PRC at a point in time when in the transition, and we know that past presidents of Liberia have siphoned the country resources, mismanaged it, and have done a lot of horrible things. I mean, both political, human rights, and I don't know, recorded against our people. I think it's time that they need to be revisited. So that these people can be called to books for their actions while steering the leadership of the country. Great country like America. I mean, Donald Trump is in. He has been persecuted, although the Chief Justice that he appointed, during his administration, tried to, have some stay orders and on some of the charges. But I mean, the law is the law. Nobody should be above the law, regardless of your status, where you serve, who you are. I mean, being the president of Liberia is just an opportunity for you to serve. It does not give you an inherent right, to be exclusively, devoid of persecution, immunity. No, I mean, I think it's a need to be review the Constitution.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll go back to Brother Moore to tell his last comment, then we'll move to another major topic, Caroline. But now the question: now, if you just join us, this is the Born Liberia. We're coming to you live from Europe. And if you're following us, if you have a comment to drop, please drop it in that box. We also want you to always subscribe and also share the show so others can have it. We're discussing major newspaper headline from Liberia. Tonight on the screen is the call from Councillor Tiewa Gongolo asking for constitutional reform. He's saying that presidents should not be shielded. If they go wrong, steal our money, we should hold them responsible. This is what we are discussing. If you just join, wherever you're joining us from, we say welcome to the borderline. Bramod, 1 minute to tell us, so we can move to the next topic. 1 minute.
Yeah, you went low, but I don't know where I got you. What I want to do for us, I'm here at Article 61 that talk about the immunity of the president. I just want to read the article so we see what the Constitution say here.
Okay.
Is that okay for us? Okay. This is Article 61. It says here.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
It says the president shall be immune from any suits, actions, or prosecutions. Yeah, or proceedings, judicial or otherwise, and from arrest, detention, or other actions on account of any act done by him while president of Liberia, pursuant to any provision of this Constitution or any other laws of the Republic. The president shall not, however, be immune from prosecution upon removal from office for the commission of any crime act done while president. Let me read Article 62 then. Are we hearing it clearly, right?
No, I just want you to summarize it so we can, because we got other headlines to look into.
Okay, other headlines there.
Yeah, we got other headlines.
But very interesting. Let me read the second portion here. Okay. The president and the vice president may be removed from office by impeachment for treason, bribery, and other felonies, violation of the Constitution, or gross misconduct. Now, so the whole thing that former president cannot be carried to court, this and that, is false. It said clearly here that the president should not, however, be immune from prosecution upon removal from office or for the commission of any criminal act done while serving as president.
So
Amen.
Upon removal, that's where when he's in office, that means when they impeach him for wrongdoing. But if they don't remove him, he is immune from any prosecution. So we'll have some constitutional scholar here or link up my person who can explain it. So when you're in office and you commit crime, when they impeach you, then you face the weight of the law. But if you're in office and you are not impeached, nothing, you get away free.
Well, the Constitution did not make clarity on that.
Okay, that was a constitutional lawyer here.
Why is saying it legally? Why you serving a president? They cannot take you to court and be charging you for this. But in fact, the crime is so of magnitude, you can be impeached, and thereafter they will prosecute you. If you left office, you can be prosecuted. Removal does not mean false. It means your term was over. Okay, you could be defeated in an election that removal. Is that correct? When you are defeated in an election, you are removed from power. So that in the case of the current president, you are removed from office by an election.
Okay, I got that. Thank you very much. Just one for the guy, our own bit of it. Look, we all know the Constitution is very clear.
But we look at it in a more technical view at maybe at a crossing point or at another time.
Yeah. We will we'll come back to you, but let's I think what I want for us to do here, get your perspective on it, and we look at it. The Constitution is very clear. I mean, you don't have to be a constitutional lawyer to understand the lines in there. It's very, very clear. But the fact of the matter, if this is the case, a council is calling for amendment, there must be some clause or provisions that say that prevent some punishment to the ex-president. But anyway, thank guys for making. Mono, you want to say something before we move to the next topic?
No, I think the provisions of the Constitution that was read by Brother Moa, is subject to interpretation, though, because it might engender a lot of controversy interpretation, though, based on which side of the the argument you find yourself. So I think, as you stated, we all agree that we'll find some legal luminaries, legal minds to come here to help interpret it. But I mean, if we individually interpret it, I mean, it depends on where we find ourselves, which area we intend to support. So
let me get out quickly, because Taiwan is a legal mind who talking about that portion in the article. You see, so he know exactly what he's talking. So that's something we need to look at. So it can be interpreted. So Francis is right. We look at it from all sides.
Right. Okay.
Can I chip on that?
Go on.
I think probably the former Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, now an opposition political leader, legally, if it ambiguous in terms of interpretation and people have been manipulating around it, then he is right. We can go back to the Constitution. May not be the only article here. Make it very clear and make it simple. Right? It should be the president, any president said, or after your term, whether remove or retire, something like that to be placed in there, that any wrongdoing found after your tenure, you will be questioned. And you could be prosecuted, or you will be prosecuted for that. I think probably that's what we want to put in the Constitution. But the English is clear that removal does not only mean by impeachment, you can be defeated at elections. Like in the case of George Weah.
You make a lot of sense, technically it makes sense. Removal in terms of the scope of definition of removal, how you want to know, but again,
all right, guys, let's move on. Okay, guys, if you're just joining us now, we got a lot of issues here. If you've been following news in Liberia and also been watching us, if you've been following what's happening in Liberia recently with regard to the police raid on the CDC headquarters, and we're going to be going back to that. But before we get there, don't go away. Stay with us. We'll be taking through other newspaper headlines. Before there, what's the story? What the regional leader is talking about? What the court is saying about the warrant of arrest that was issued, where did it come from? We'll be discussing that. But anyway, before that, let's move you to another topic. Tonight, we'll be taking you to the newspaper of this is a story from our New Republic. Oh, sorry. No, I'll just give you a little bit of a tip. This is what happening here right now. Guys, tell me something about this one. We have the president came over an idea of 10,000 Liberians to benefit from digital education. They graduated after 2 weeks of training. And this is a good news for Liberia. 10,000 students graduated from digital training under the Boyaka leadership. 2 weeks training, 10,000 students. The question is, you may have read the paper. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think it's a good news.
I just glanced at what I mean. I think it's this this government tried, the president, his team tried to fulfill some electoral promises made, and I know we'll have 100,000 or 10,000, 100,000 students, people trained within the first 100 days or so. Look, I don't know what IT level they are being trained. Probably, I don't know.
I just want you to look at it from listen. Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. You guys,
I know it's capacity building. I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
look at it from both positive and critically. Look at it from all angles. What do you think? Give me a critical view on this. I'm not.
I try to give you a critical view. Oh, look, 2 weeks.
Yes.
For a digital project, I mean training. So with my little understanding of what I do, I work. I just open the computer and I can go to Windows and open and serve the internet. That's the basic stuff I have to do. I mean, send emails and serving. I think that's what the training entails. I mean, you cannot learn more than that in 2 weeks in 2 weeks period. I mean, it's good to have our children know, young people, the students that get on par with other young people around the world. I mean, to have the rudimentary knowledge of a computer. Just browsing the internet, emails, sending emails and checking stuff. That's it. That's what 2 weeks can do for you.
Okay. Robert?
Frankly, it went kind of low for me.
I think your microphone. So we hear you very loud and clear. Probably your microphone.
You hearing me clear, right?
Yeah, we hear you.
Well, I am reading the headline here, looking at it from the front page of it. It says Liberia news, right? Liberia news. Over 10,000 students will graduate from President Waka digital project. What does this mean?
You asking us?
Yeah, I'm asking, what does it mean?
Yeah, the student will graduate. 10,000 will graduate. 10,000. The period of time is 2 weeks. They will graduate because what we read in the paper, they're going to graduate in 2 weeks, but it'll be in digital skills in different areas, but you'll be digitally trained. Talking about IT literacy, at least in 2 weeks, we've got 10,000 Liberian students who benefit. That's why.
Where is the institution?
No, basically is an institution that offering this training service.
Is what?
It's an institution like giving this training, offering this training. It's a project. They're offering this training to the 10,000 students.
Yeah, but where is it? Where is it situated? In Liberia?
I think it's the LTA to the LTA.
Liberia Telecommunication, yeah.
The dream it should be a crash course.
What we will do, we'll give you more background information on this. If you want to know before you comment, I think that's what you want to do, right, Mr. Moore?
Yep. Yeah, okay. Because I do not have any idea on it. So we need to know what the project is about, how long it was going to take people to graduate. After graduation, what's going to take place in Liberia, something that we need to know before we comment. We don't know whether the program was an initiation from the other regime and people come to graduate and they want to like put it on the news that it is done by this administration. We need to know all of that because in recent time, one similar thing, they took the president by force to go to Riverside to dedicate a building, knowing fully well that the judiciary is overseen by the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. So he had two heads or two distinct branches of the Liberian government at that program.
Right. Okay. Well, I understand. Thank you very much for that input. I'll come back and give you a background information so you have the opportunity to, if fair enough, to comment on the newspaper headline. Thank you very much. What I would do, I'll take you to a different newspaper topic, guys. We have a story. Our senator is once again in the news. This is what the story about him. Senator McGill defends creation of supplementary payroll, but filed rate of prohibition against ongoing corruption investigation. Probably you've heard, we've been following the news that the senator has been accused of some kind of mismanagement of funds, salaries, and ghost names were put on the list at the Minister of Presidential Affairs. He was involved in it, and the GAC report tinted him. So, and also this is something going on right now. So this is what he's saying, but the senator is also asking for, he want to file the writ of prohibition against the ongoing corruption investigation against him. So if you did read it, what do you look at it? What's your side on this?
Okay, let me come in. At this particular story, after the GEC report came out a month ago, we talked about it on the bottom line here. There were three ministers, Nathaniel McGee, Blammo, and Sylvester Grisby. Between them, $12 million got missing. Now, McGee name is involved, so he's now coming out to speak. And I think I've been talking on this thing for months on this program regarding, say, even Minister Bruce to need to come out and declare himself. So this is the story. About 739 supplementary workers that they cannot trace. This is what getting to Nathaniel McGee now because he's on the front line. And you remember this guy was censured for corruption. So he's trying to do something that to prohibit him from being corrupt. That's how I see it.
Yeah, another information to that. Another information I think Brother McGee is trying to digest the story before you comment on it. Probably if you did read it, we'll give you a chance. But let's go to Francis. The Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission has invited the senator regarding his pardoning payroll. We are the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. So he's been called to help them in the investigation. Now, some money has been missing, some ghost name will be created. So, Mono, if you were reading it, did you read the story? If you did, please tell what your side on this.
I mean, this I think is this a rerun of these headlines. I mean, they were just written in a different way. Okay. You know, the context, it kind of, but it's still the same. He wants a prohibition on the ongoing case against him, through the Liberian anti-corruption, and I think this is supposed to go to court, and they invoking that they have a stay order because he claiming now that he's this is a copycat stuff, like wherein he's saying that the president ordered him to do it, so that so he's trying to be honest. It was the president's mandate. And especially president's instruction, President Georgia instruction. So he cannot be held liable. And even at that, he wants the court, he pleading, at the court to put a halt to it. I think the justice in Timor, what his name, what the guy name?
Kawa?
Yeah, he already put a stay order on it, so. Yeah, so basically, it's just a cycle. That's where the constitutional revision come in to look into it, because everybody's leaning on the president's presidential immunity.
So just add to that, what the story is saying, there was a supplementary payroll containing 728 names. was, created allegedly under the watch of the senator. And they were not part of the supplementary list. They were not part of the main employees. 728 names under the ministry. So the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission is asking you, Mr. Senator, can you help us to explain to us where all these were coming from? Are these all your members of your staff? Can you help us to explain? 700, that was identified by the Anti-Corruption Committee, LACC. So the senator is saying that it should prohibit him from going for investigation. So
yeah, because it was the president order. He said the president instructed him to put these people on payroll.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
want to come
in there?
Yeah, go on, please.
This boy, your boy, he think the street culture, he will put it over the nation. We know we got our country, we got our waterside techniques, old road technique, Firestone technique, Buchanan technique. We know all that stuff. Okay? You, as an educated man, you took off. Okay? The Constitution we just read, the immunity, it did not say anybody that works in the administration of this president, what he or she may have done will not be counted for. Okay? So, if there were a suggestion made from cabinet meeting to assist 739 people.
728.
728?
Yes, 728, yeah.
Okay, 729 or 728. Okay.
Yes.
So, if that was a discussion and it is approved, the signature or the president are being attached to a document directing the Minister of Presidential Affairs to communicate or transmit that document to the Budget Bureau. So he can't just sit down and can't tell us and asking for prohibition, so I can't go to court because everything I did was upon the order of the president. You got to show document now that the president signed that directive. Other than that, the president himself will not say yes to it. We know that. So he is joking. Whatever he did, you will answer for it. Mind you, public record already served. The president removed him after he was excused by an agency of a foreign government. And he did not exonerate himself from that. He should have gone to court to exonerate himself because he needed his character. But he used the stolen money and applied the application of cash violence into the election, and he won a senatorial seat to be shielded. So he can be shielded with this. He is joking. That is not what the Constitution provides yet. Okay?
Okay. With regard to
the president had to sign that document, not verbal.
Okay.
You remember, Brandon Samuka did not take his seat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said he was doing it at the will and pressure of the president. And they said, no, you should have known better. So he was in government at that time. So that same application, the Supreme Court ruled against him, right?
Exactly, yeah, it's so good.
So any law that is Supreme Court of a country, the ruling of the Supreme Court becomes law. So that same application will be used in this case. That's a law already. That if you're serving and you do it wrong, you are responsible, not the president. Bonica Samuka reference how the lawyer will push it.
Let me just say quick. Let me just borrow 2 minutes of your time. Laws are precedents. What the users. But in this case, he's not even using the president alone. He's using the national legislature. You say the budget you're talking about, it was passed by the people there. Now you're gonna be giving me hard time. You're gonna ask them too. Yeah, in context of what he's saying, the national legislature passed they passed that thing. They passed the budget. Then you're giving me hard time. You're going to ask them too. So he's trying to involve a lot of people into this. So yeah.
But no, but if it reflected in the national budget, right? But the individual senator, the senator and the individual are not alive. They were showing nowhere, no ID card, nothing at the account. This is where the question is coming from. You put it in the budget, but no individual has left or is alive to show he or she is on the payroll.
Right. Guys,
they've been dead and buried long time are ghost names.
No, if they have been dead and buried, it should have been reported by the civil service agency. When somebody died, they remove you from the payroll. So that's 728 or 729 people. So for the past 8 months, it's on the payroll.
Civil service don't have the names of these people.
No, it does not. No names don't exist. Guys, okay, let me take you quickly back to some story. We have this time want to be working in time frame. We have an hour and a half to be here, guys. So we've already gone 51 minutes into our time. So I want please to confirm ourselves to at least 2 minutes each or 3. If you want to follow up any time, so we're able to digest all the headlines that making that we have here tonight. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your understanding. Let's move you to another topic here. This is another story with the central bank, guys. You follow this. Liberia, Ministry of National Central Bank, my apology, Ministry of Finance, denial of World Bank's default payment. But document the front page Africa says that they have document their possession that the Ministry of Finance defaulted. They can't pay the central bank. Sorry, they can't pay the World Bank. And it's just there's a conflict in something. Something's not right. But guys, what is going on here? Now we have issue here. Can we borrow money for the World Bank? Are we credible enough? Are we credit worthy now to borrow? With these issues coming up, government was notified that they have to pay. They did not pay, and they did not. Oh well, we paid our money. We have not. We have paid, and the front page is saying that we have something in opposition that the people were informed that they have not paid their money. They need their money to be paid, but there's a default here. But how? Somebody help me out here. How we get out of this situation? The present leadership is going through. But let's look at the UP-led government. Can we sympathize with them with the situation that they inherited issue, or can that be an excuse? How can they handle the situation? Because we need money in our country to pay people and get projects going on.
I mean, that quick. I'll soon be leaving. I'll take the 2 minutes on this, and I will say goodbye, good night to you. Look, the money was taken from the International Development, what you call it, association, IDA.
Right. Correct.
It shall be paid. It shall be paid back. Look, there's no excuse. Responsible governments should always try to make up for it, make a debt payment with government's continuity. We said in the past. I mean, what happened? What was good in the past is always good now. Government's continuity. I mean, government should have to muster the courage to pay the money. I know there are tight budgetary constraints, but they didn't try and pay the money, pay the people their money. So we have room to borrow more money. Once you start defaulting on your loans, I mean, even the bank will take a collateral and other stuff. So government is no exception. Government has. I mean, being in debt is not a bad thing. Debt is a good thing too. But the government has to pay. I mean, its creditors for who loan them money.
Thank you, but Francis, I don't want you to go. I want you to, because you're one of those that spoke lengthily last night about the rate on the CDC issue. Just give me a comment before you go. But let me get 2 minutes, 1 more minute each to Brother Moore and Paul to speak on this debt issue. Then we'll go to the CDC rates, the police rate on the CDC compound. There are some issues coming up. So, Brother Moore, can you quickly a minute to tell us what you think about this the loan, the money issue with the
issue.
sorry, the money issue
Well,
with
as somebody said, government is continual process for a country. If the loan is legitimate, some people, a payment record show are well little in government, and sometimes they show the record to the president or to the head that the payment is made, but actually the payment is not made to the organization. Said what is going on? Government is responsible to pay who is there in power. They have to check whether a payment was made, the payment is not received, how it was not received. That's why we want to know. The auditor should go ahead and audit the process. But they shouldn't tie their own hand by bearing grumble. It was done under the other ministry, so they are not responsible. Nobody want to hear that. The Republic of Liberia is the Republic of Liberia.
Oh.
Yeah. It's interesting though. I think Francis nailed this. If you owe somebody, you have to pay. That's the bottom line of it.
That's the
and if the government come out to say that lie and then front page telling them say no, we got document on this. So that they put the government on a serious Bible footing to wake up, pay your debt, and then we'll move on. But I look at it this way too. Why is it that we keep borrowing money, a country like Liberia that have everything? Why can't we do something to generate our own money for Christ's sake? We're always going for begging people for money.
Pastor, just to read out, you're good to be in debt. So
well, the question, the answer is that your country economy is controlled and dominated by foreign capitals.
Yeah.
So everything you see over there, not for you.
Let me move to this question. This is the hot topic in Liberia right now. We want Francis will be taking leave of us. I want you to tell me about the warrant that was secured before they raided the CDC head office in Monrovia. There's a story on that warrant. So this is the story. Now the Chief Justice is looking into the story. This is what, guys. Chief Justice launches inquiry to identify issue of the search warrant that is spark violence at the CDC headquarters. So I know we've read the story. I want to go straight to Francis Mono Mensa. Tell her, what did you read the story? What did you gather from the story when you read it?
The story just to put in a nutshell is that look, the Chief Justice was kind of concerned after the raid on the CDC compound. And even that the way was extended to the president's house, former President George Weah's house.
Wow.
Yeah. According to the story, but the raid was done without a legitimate warrant, a search and seizure warrant. According to the judge, the West Point Magistrate Judge Mangufen Joman Jala, he said he did not know anything but it. So the city solicitor, I think they call it the city solicitor, should have been the one to issue the warrant, sign the warrant. He himself did not. So they asked the guy at the court, some guy, he said, I think they were stolen from him, and somebody made a copy of the warrant and they used it. And so
say that again, the warrant was stolen from him.
Yeah, it was prepared, but it was never signed. So the unsigned document, somebody I'm mistaken, somebody mischievously took a copy, and used it and took it to the DA and had what they used
and put the national police in action.
Yes. So the DA, after the DA were overpowered, or how to call the police for reinforcement. So the Chief Justice is very concerned. She's angry about that. I think the bailiff at the court, when he was sent to prison, but after some the ongoing investigation, they were released. So yeah, that's basically what happened, because and up to now, nobody can give an accurate account of how they got the
Search warrant.
warrant. And one thing in law enforcement, in policing, I mean, before you carry out any kind of such and seizure warrant, enforce it, it has to be signed by I think the county attorney as well. So some duplication, somebody falsified some signatures and somewhere, or maybe these guys did it with ill intent. They just ran with the paper and just took it there. And this is criminal in nature, and Liberia we should not be, condoning such an action. Without the legality of the law to do it rightly.
Before you take this, is just to make. I want to clear this up. Somebody went to the martial court in West Point, right, and secured a warrant or such warrant to go and search the CDC headquarters. So they use that to go to the CDC headquarters. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Guys, what are we seriously like? Tell us something. What is it we into, guys?
This is criminality at the highest level, and the situation what happened at CDC party headquarters, we may laugh, but this could have taken Liberia to another level. Now, if you go into a party headquarters, we know that party headquarters, people live there. That's a big place. And if you don't have a search warrant and enter, and they blow alarm that, oh, the police here. And the story goes that this is the second time in this month. It happened on the 5th of this month. Then it happened again. So there's something the police is doing wrong. And I think this is where it's criminality, and they're trying to do something that will create more problem in Liberia.
Okay, I also understand, Francis, you were just telling us that the search warrant also involves searching the house of the former president.
Yeah, it was according to the article.
Yeah, I can see it now. They said the justice saying, what I can read. Yeah, the justice ordered the imprisonment of the bailiff and the sheriff in the West Point Martial Court. The two court officers were allegedly involved in signing the search and seizure warrants used by the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, LDEA, to raid areas surrounding the CDC headquarters. So he said the warrant was reportedly issued without approval of the court's presiding judge, Joma Jala. But does he have a right to issue a such warrant? That's the question I want to ask.
So I think all of those they all got boundaries. You issue search warrant around the person who is responsible for a particular location. Is West Point in the boundary of the CDC? I mean, I think Francis can help us all here.
No, the newspaper clarified it. It said the justice was very furious that the West Point Martial Court has no jurisdiction.
Exactly.
Being raided, and that the decision of the two court staff to sign the search warrant as search and seizure warrant runs outside the law. So it is said that the Monrovia City Court is the one clothed with authority to issue such and seizure warrant, and that the act of the two West Point was criminal. So, but in fact, what Joma Jala should be also involved, should be arrested as well. Why should you even prepare the such warrant himself?
We should be arrested.
I mean, the judge, the martial court in the what do you call it?
West Point.
Oh yes. Look, now would be arrested, be removed.
They seen Joma Jala order the raiding and the seizure of Roots FM equipment. He didn't give it to them during what you call it, Ria's administration. Costa Radio, they raided Costa station and took his things, and the judge denied it. Yeah.
Wait a minute, friend. Is that to say Jala got allowed the 100 million drugs, something that went free? Is that he?
No, he was not. There's another judge.
Oh, another judge. Okay, all right.
But Joma was the one actually are involved when they raided the Roots FM, CDC, Costa FM, and took his stuff, and he a little controversial lawyer, so I don't know. He's a good friend of mine, though.
Well, okay. This is the situation. This is serious. Then after all this, we are complaining to Boakai, to ECOWAS. This is serious. You got a guy involved with the guys. No, I think he's trying to be peaceful here. The government is going too far. If this is what's going on right now, do you think the government is aware of what's going on, like going to the CDC headquarters, reading them? Is this something somebody doing it without the knowledge of the president? I'm not asking you generally.
You're asking the question whether the government is aware of what's going on?
Mr. I just think if the president office is aware of what is going on, I mean, like all these things going on, the unlawful act, going to create a warrant without going through the right procedure. Is this something you think the president will be aware of? I'm just asking generally.
Okay, let me chip in there because I have to leave you guys in the next
we'll be summarizing. We'll be summarizing, guys. We got 10 more minutes to summarize. We got where we're going over time. Just let's take one minute on each.
Yeah, I need maybe a minute. Minute.
Go on, please.
We got to take our country very seriously, and we must stand by the truth and pursue it at the highest level for our national safety. Okay? This government is being run by Roma. It's being run by Roma. They are off the book. The laws of Liberia on the other side, they're doing their own thing. And they don't know the danger that they are bringing upon the nation. Okay? We are going through wars. We saw we probably live for whatever over 2 centuries. They did everything they wanted. One single day, the masses took to the street, and that was the end. People have to know. The president is aware. The government is aware. If you ask that question, because the government has the security directors all were appointed by him. He got legal advisor. He has security advisor. Okay? So you can't sit there, you have a gesture at the Peace Corps in West Point to issue a document that should have been issued by the State Magisterial Court of Monrovia. It can't be.
Right. Thank you.
So the government is aware.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I think we want to take a round on this. I think we come to the point. If you just joined us, we're looking at the major news that make headlines Liberia. You are watching the Bottom Line Liberia live from the Central Europe. Colleagues discussing news for tonight are joining me to discuss news for tonight are Francis Mono Mensa from Sweden, Paul the Lord Chilople from London, and our brother, that's Albert the Comrade Moe from Chicago, USA.
From Chicago.
We just trying to summarize the paper. Now the newspaper that made headlines in Liberia. We're looking at now the situation in Liberia is a tense situation over the week. A couple of days back, like Monrovia was really shaking. The foundation was shook because of the attack on the CDC. That's the major opposition political party headquarters was Iraq. I think there was some casualties so far. And now this has gone to a level that regional leaders are concerned. Now ECOWAS is in town to calm the storm. Guys, Paul and Francis, tell her, you think ECOWAS can help her to calm the situation? Because since we are left this job, there has been tension between Weah and Boakai. Let's give it to Weah here, guys. He kind of gave out this leadership to peacefully, democratically. Look, you want it, take it, right? But then he has been always on the wrong side. He's not been things been going against his appearing, coming to the airport. He was not using the VIP launch. All other story. Now, we also heard that there was a search warrant from a district court, a district court to go and search his house, even now that his headquarters, which sparked a lot of serious issues in Liberia, even caused casualties. That's how you tell us. How can we get out of this thing? Is this something that's going? I don't know what to say, man. Can we? How you guys look at this? How can you look at this?
I think Albert said something just now that about the two-week party, and seem nothing. I remember 2017, after the election 2018, when we became president, from a house to President Barker house, it's just literally 5 minutes walk. He walked there to talk to Barker, sat with him. Remember,
yeah, what I'm trying to say here, for all look of things, we are seem to be extending olive branch to leadership, but then he's not.
Yeah, so let me. That's why I'm heading. And what happened in 2018 when Barker said to, because of me there'll be no bloodshed, we are walked to his house. You remember? He now in office, and all of these things are happening, and he is the dad of the land and the oldest of all. Apart from being the dad, this is why people gave him a seat, for his experience in government. And all of these things happening, he's aware of it. And I agree with Francis that he has security advisor, he have all of these people. So there's some hatred here going on between the two of them. Remember, it was Barker, it was Weir that told us that he did help the old man to do his pacemaker. Maybe it was the same Weir during the election, people say things that got to him. So it's like, oh, because you did that, I'll do back, I'll pay back. This is a scenario we face. It's not supposed to be that. If they go by the letter, yeah, they go by the letter of the law, not to pick on somebody. Because if we are stole money, you get GEC there, you get LACC, yeah, then bring the evidence, prosecute him. But you can't be going like this. It's just wrong.
Francis. Look, guys, I'll give you 1 more minute to summarize so we can take a leave out of here. I want to say thank you wherever you join us, but I will give my co-host their chance to take their party comments so we can take leave of you. We've been now 1 hour and 11 minutes. I think we are over time. So I'll go to Francis. Francis, from there, we'll go to Brother Abomor.
I mean, it's a need for ECOWAS to come in to mitigate the situation, to pacify both sides, especially the CDC, who feel aggrieved, who feel that they're being the subject or the target of witch hunt and violence. Look, I just want to give a scenario. I mean, it's an irony now, because when the CDC took over, it was the opposition that was creating the problem at the time. The first 6 months, there were protests and stuff, and so ECOWAS came in. And this time is, unlike the opposition being the aggressor, the agitator. I mean, the government itself being, been targeting the CDC, in a very, I call it, indirect form, by raiding ghettos behind the CDC, and then subsequently going there. But in just to sum up, I think it's a need. ECOWAS intervention is timely, and we need peace in our country. We have had a lot of running around for the past few years, so we don't need any more. I mean, the UP government should just focus on governance, and try to rescue the country through the arrest agenda they have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ramon, your comment.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. So ECOWAS is in Monrovia, right?
Yeah, to calm the storm. It's been very stormy.
The whole thing, as Francis said, is sickening. In as much our hearts are burning for stolen money and property, the laws are there. It has to be done legally. Nobody will back any criminals. I spoke to a nephew of mine who is a community leader of CDC. And he seemed to be a kind of honest young man. And he said, look, Uncle, we are discussing among ourselves. Anybody that was with us that was stealing money will not defend that kind of character. We defend when our institution is attacked wrongfully by the government. We defend it. So they are attacking people who are telling them it is irresponsibleness of this government. And this may lead to a forceful removal of the regime if they continue. It's no joke.
Yeah.
The issue is big. They were elected, so we think about that. But the safety of the nation comes first. They have to know that their honor obligation, their honor oath to protect each and every citizen within Liberia. Apply the laws. When it's by the law, nobody will shake.
Exactly.
Cool. The law is cool. Don't create a death squad in the police or in the security system to be carrying on operations. That these you are going to attack a major political party headquarters, including its political leaders. Are you stupid? You can do that in South Africa to go raid the ANC political headquarters and lead us home? Because Liberian led law. I will stop right there. But this situation is need to be stopped.
Thank you very much. It needs to be stopped. Thank you very much. Wherever you join us from, once a bit, thank you. Thank you for tuning to the Bottom Line Liberia show. Remember to always stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Keep striving for progress and positive change in our beloved Liberia. Until next time, take care and be well. And I want to say thank you to my colleagues for joining me. Paul, the Lord Children from London, the brother Francis Mono Mensah from Sweden, and our own comrade from Chicago, Albert Moyer. Thank you and have a pleasant evening. And thank you for joining wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.